Hello, friends, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The StrottSHOW. I'm your host and guy who talks at you, misusing vocabulary, cadence, and occasionally pregnant pauses, Michael Carroll, Vice President at Strottner Designs, and I'm excited to be here with you because this week is one of my favorite conversations that we have had yet. We are going to take a very thorough look at our logo design process with a blog post written by our very own Patrick Strottner. Now, I'm going to go real small screen on me, real big screen on the blog post so that you can fully appreciate the level of detail that goes into our process here. And I'm going to switch over right now so that we can really enjoy this and dive right in. We're not going to wait. Oop, here we are. A closer look at our logo design process featuring Wildcatter Outfitters. So, Wildcatter Outfitters was a group that came to us mid last year, and they were getting into the apparel business. They wanted to basically create a Hui or Nike level brand. And, that's always a pretty simple task. No problem at all. Just getting right out there and starting the next, even Under Armour. And so I took that task on with one of our regular logo packages, put it right in Patrick Strottner's hands, and we got to work. So I'm going to take the editorial content as much to a minimum as possible here and hope that I can do proper level of, do the best job I can on behalf of Patrick's blog posted in February. In this article, we are going to take a closer look at the process we took in crafting a logo for an apparel company catering to the oilfield and gas industry, Wildcatter Outfitters. As we do with any new logo or brand that we design, we followed our 5D design process. Our 5D design process is organized into 5D phases: discovery, development, design, decisions, and delivery. We make it our mission to fully understand your business objectives before embarking on any creative concepts through our 5D design process. With this approach, expectations are met and are exceeded, ideally exceeded, while designing logos or websites or any other creative products. And valuable resources, both your time and your money, are not wasted. Step 1, the discovery. In this case, we met over the phone. In this case, that was me, not Patrick. It's very rarely Patrick, in case anybody's thinking about working with us. You almost always meet with me during the discovery process. Rarely do anybody meet with Patrick because we keep him working on our designs. So in this case, I met with a potential client to discuss what they were looking for, to make sure we were the right fit for them, and to learn a little more about them and their business. This included learning about the business goals and the project scope. For Wildcatter Outfitters, I decided to make this a little bit more focused on the blog post and not my facial expressions. For Wildcatter Outfitters, they wanted a new apparel brand for the oil field and gas industry that was instantly recognizable. As I mentioned earlier, like other major brands such as Adidas, Under Armour, or Nike. They wanted the same branding recognition as those major brands, but catering to the oil field industry so that people in that industry would be proud to wear their brand. These early discovery meetings are a critical first step as they form the foundation of this new partnership. We were excited to work with them, and they were excited to work with us. We quickly came to an agreement, signed a contract, same day, in fact, and got to work. Step 2, development. They submitted their questionnaire. Our questionnaire can be found at the bottom of our website page. Some hand sketches from their group, some oil field pictures from the field, and a list of brands they liked. We performed background research, lots of Googling, looked up competitors, in this case, very few, gleaned information from their questionnaire to learn anything else we could about their business, industry, and competition. In a way, this process is similar to how an actor gets into character as we immerse ourselves within their industry. Step 3, design. This step is a lot of fun, as we're able to begin some preliminary sketches and get into the design phase. Based on the name, we started sketching different monograms, as many other brands use their monograms, such as Under Armour, using a stacked U and A, with the name starting with Wildcatter. The W was a great starting point. So we started sketching different W designs and tied in a wildcat drilling well to the middle of the W. We also tried some different ideas, such as using pipes as a WC for Wildcatter. Here, you can see some of our initial hand sketches. Every one of our logo projects begins with hand sketches. We chose a few of these drawings and concepts to make an initial concept sheet with the strongest candidates. And this is where they get digitized, colorized, and sent to the client. Step 4, decisions. The client liked the initial group of logo options, but thought the Wildcatter well was a little too cliche and might be overused in the oilfield industry. Whenever an aspect of a logo is overused in an industry, it gets watered down and less recognizable to an emerging brand. It blends in with the competition, and that is the last thing you want. The client did like option 3, but wanted a more interesting and memorable font used. They were also not keen on the color scheme. In fact, weren't sure if he even wanted color at all for the logo, as it would be going on different colored shirts, hats, jackets, apparel. And the logo could be shown in a myriad of colors, similar to the way other major brands do. So we went back to the drawing board to design a new set of 4 options. That included the chosen concept 3 from the initial set as a new option 3. We used the WC monogram to try different concepts, including the new first option, which formed an oil droplet in the negative space between the W and the C. The second new option was a gruffy wildcat that had an eye patch, which was inspired from a rough sketch sent to us by the client in the discovery phase. The fourth option was a custom monogram that made a W out of the flame, which is inspired from a flaring process in the oilfield industry, and a circle surrounding it, but with a cutout to the right that forms the C. And here is the next sheet that was sent to the client. No color this time. As you can see, diverse set of options. So when we say we're sending you concepts, we're also not sending you just slight variations on one concept. We do our best to provide unique options. We presented the above set to the client, and they absolutely loved the fourth option. Back to the fourth option, that is this one here. We liked this whole set, but instantly gravitated to the fourth option, as did his whole crew. In their words, we killed it with this design. He liked the first one, but the oil droplet catered a little too much to the oil industry and not as much to the gas industry. The second option was a little too detailed for our main brand, but maybe used on future t-shirt designs in some capacity. The third option was considered, but he thought the fourth logo was too perfect to not use. The next step was color. The client wasn't sure he wanted to have the logo in color and was leaning towards keeping it in black and white, but he was interested in seeing the logo in different color combinations, so we made 4 sheets. And here are those 4. First 2, and the second 2. He really liked all the color combinations and couldn't pick just one, which cemented his desire to keep the logo in black and white and then use color in future apparel options. Most likely using all of these at some point. And step 5, delivery. The initial design directive was to create a brand for the oilfield and gas industries that could be instantly recognizable, like other major brands. So as one of the last steps before delivering the logo files and the style guide to the client, we made a brand comparison sheet that placed his new logo among other major brands to see how they compare. This was a fun exercise. Not one we do every time, but this was a little extra step we took for this client because of what their ultimate goal was, because we're excited and hopeful that we're going to see this product out in stores. But it also showed the client how he compared to others, and for us, it was fun to see the potential of how a brand that we custom designed might look and stand out compared to the other major apparel companies. And here we are. Wildcatter, Hui, who's a special place in our heart, being a local brand, and friends, Magellan, Outdoors, Under Armour, and some of the others. We've heard of a few. I don't recognize that one with that check mark. Kidding, obviously. In the end, the client was incredibly happy with the new logo and brand that we designed for him. We delivered the logo files, all versions, including the horizontal, the vertical, and the icon by itself, and a style guide. He immediately started the trademark process with the U.S. Patent and Trade Office. So if you would like to try to discuss a logo design process or even a logo design project, reach out to us. You can email us, support@Strottner.com. Click on that link when you see our information in the show notes. And we would love to work with anybody on their branding project for whatever new company you're thinking about, or maybe you want to redesign a current logo. We're working with a local school district, actually 2 now local school districts, to rebrand some of their campuses and mascots. We're almost done rebranding every single mascot in a local school district, which is going to be a topic that we cover in a future video, blog post, and anywhere else that I can probably brag about it and promote it. So hope you've enjoyed this little deep dive into our logo process. This 5D process is something that informs, honestly, all of our design work, as I mentioned above. And look forward to seeing you guys again next week. It'll be another scintillating topic. And look forward to your feedback. Feel free to contact us again, support@Strottner.com, or through our website. You can always email me, Michael@Strottner.com. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time. In the meantime, be good. Always remember, if you can't be good, definitely be careful. Enjoy the rest of your week.